So audacious that it mirrored the most daring Israeli raids in modern history, one that could have been the fuse to one of the most explosive confrontations in West Asia, triggering a full-scale regional war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had planned a high-stakes military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities beginning as early as next month. And this was not just any other drill. It consisted of a plan complete with airstrikes, commandos, based on a Syria-style raid conducted by Israel last September. But US President Donald Trump blocked the plan, instead choosing to pivot towards diplomacy with Tehran. Iran is a country prepared for war, and if diplomacy fails this Saturday in the talks between the US and Iran, the fallout would not just be in Tehran or Tel Aviv for that matter, it could spread across West Asia. We tell you all about a mission so audacious.
Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the whole for elect, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. To you ribs and to you sisters out there learning silence, staying in order. I say to you all, shalom. You know, there's a lot of new talk, man, everywhere, you know, and we're getting closer and closer, right? You know, to Armageddon, right? To the Lord's judgment. You know, and everything's already set, man. We're just waiting for one more key component, man, which is, you know, the M to the A to the R to the K and of the beast. Right, so everything's in place, man. All this new talk, all this, nothing's gonna happen until you know the sea hip comes out, right? You know, they already have the infrastructure, right? As you saw in my previous video, you know that like 60% of the population is already, you know, Bluetoothed, right? From that venom, and you know. Well, Billy said that he was gonna, you know, basically put it in the foods, right, to get most of the people, man. And this is why we need mercy, cause, right, we don't know, man. This devil could put it in any of our foods, right? Anything. You know, allegedly, I heard that Coca-Cola had an agreement, you know, to have to do with the venom. So if you have drank Coke in the last, you know, couple years, you know, it could be possible that, you know, you were Bluetoothed, right? But you know, in the scriptures talk about how, you know, in the place of drawing waters, right, which is where is our servitude, right, where we work, right, we're gonna rehearse the righteous acts, man, and do our best to, you know, not be ignorant of Satan's devices, and right, and not be ignorant in the smallest of matters, right? But it also talks about us eating our defiled breads, right? Our food, our tainted food. You know, they've been doing stuff like that. They've been, you know, putting things in foods to manipulate the minds of people for a long time, right? And you know, in Babylon, right, the powers that be, right, have been dealing with mind manipulations since MK Ultra. MK Ultra was a secret program to use, I believe it was, you know, psychedelic drugs to be able to, like, basically hypnotize the people, right? And that's why I believe where these school shooters are coming from, right? I think they had a movie out. I don't know if it was called MK Ultra or some kind of secret agent movie where this man, you know, he was activated with a passcode or a keyword. You guys gonna have to look this up. There was that movie where somebody would whisper in their ear a passcode, and it triggered like a secret agent fighting, you know, animal in this person, right? And that's what I believe these school shootings are. So what we were trying to say is that, you know, we are the people that don't know are scared of these nuke talks and these war talks and you know, we at war with this and war with that, but nothing can really happen, right? You know, speaking as a man right now, you know, because we really don't know, you know, the exact time of the Lord or what His plans are, right? But we do know that the mark of the beast has to be here before the coming of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? And the second death, which is the nuclear missiles, right? World War III could come, you know, war, people dying, bombings, all these things, crazy large-scale wars. Yeah, that could happen at the same time as the mark, but what we're talking about is nuke, you know what I'm saying? The obliteration, you know, with the earth shaking to and fro. That's what we're talking about. Man, you know, the elect and the you know, like-minded brothers who's in the prophecies, you know, because the scriptures talk about that the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. You know, they're all waiting for this, man. You know, we're all waiting for this. Like we're all tired of working. You know, we're all tired of these infirmities, right? Esau's not gonna let up. He's gonna keep trying to poison the people, right? And the scriptures talk about it's a miracle that we're not consumed daily, right? If it was up to Esau, he'd already wipe out the half of the population, man. You know, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is holding those four winds, man, the winds of destruction, until the appointed time. Everything's on His time, man. Everything must come to pass on His time. You know, we gotta pray for mercy now more than ever, man. Like, you know, this last Passover they just passed, you know, we saw a lot of things within the community, right? A lot of outings, and what I mean outings is, you know, exposures and things of that nature. You know, people talking bad on, you know, elders, and, you know, just getting really cold out there. You know what I mean? Like, the hearts of the so-called Hebrew Israelite community has waxed cold, man. Where youngins are going after elders and things of that nature, and sifting and exposing, and you know, back to the MK Ultra thing, you know, we got agents, you know what I'm saying, like, most definitely in our community. But Iran had just, you know, not long ago, I want to say like 2 months ago, put out information that the FBI is targeting the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites and as terrorist groups, as, you know, Trump you know, is signing a new deal where, you know, homegrown terrorists will be dealt with accordingly. You know, and it all, you know, fits in to what we're talking about, you know, because the FBI is trying to, you know, first separate the community and then pick one off at a time. You know, that's what I see, right? So for those, you know, Israelite groups that have been, you know, all about, hey, keep your fringes on at work, wherever you go, right? You're gonna be singing another tune. Right? I know I'm touching various topics, but they all related, man, in this web of lies that we all entangled with. Right? Everybody spoke that, you know, why does GMS not wear, you know, fringes? You know what I'm saying? Why do they try to blend in and this, that? You know, because they're all about the law, right? Like the law's gonna save you. But now look at you. It's gonna come a time where you're gonna unsew those fringes on the bottom of your shirt, right? It's what ISUPK calls dresses or skirts. That's what they say. Man, you know, ISUPK is super disrespectful, but you know, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna be unsewing those hinges, man, and those fringes, like, yeah. And you're gonna see, you know, that the apostles, the elder apostles on down was, you know, speaking the truth on everything. They have never failed you, man. But you know, the rest of y'all were blinded. You know, I pray the Lord keeps me in His faith. You know what I'm saying? And in this, you know, in the spirit, you know what I'm saying, of GMS, right, which is the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, I think that the Lord had taken me out a previous camp. If you know, you know. But yeah, man, I didn't mean to, like, you know, touch on various topics, but that's what's going on, man. This is the time to pray for mercy double time. That's all I gotta say on that, man. You know, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for allowing me to breathe another day, right? You know, as healthy as I could be right now, you know, with everything going on. You know, I pray and thank the Lord that, you know, He allows me to teach and, you know, allows me to continue in the faith, man, because it's not guaranteed for everybody, you know, not even for myself. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to those who are preaching His word in truth, sincerity, and to you sisters out there learning in silence and staying in order. I say to you all, Shalom.